Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to the Charlotte ROVAL. I will point out that Formula 1 was also supposed to come out today, but it has been delayed, unfortunately, to Wednesday. Due to an uploading error, we were lucky to even get this video up today. So we're going to the ROVAL though in the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. This is an elimination race in the Cup Series, so we have some drivers that are going to be very close on getting in. And in the Xfinity Series, obviously, Derek Kraus is our playoff driver now, and he came through turns 1, running pretty decent in this race. He started second, and he really wouldn't move around from there. He would just kind of ride around in the second position the whole race. So it wasn't really worth showing much in this race because his position did not really change at all. He was running behind the 51 of Jeremy Clements the whole race here in the ROVAL, and as he came to the final lap, still in the second position, and he actually lost a little bit of time to the Clements, and then he gained it back here on this final lap, but obviously it didn't look like he was going to get close enough as he came through the NASCAR oval turns 3 and turns 4, heading down into the final few corners. Derek Kraus would start second and come through to finish in the second position now, and that will close up the playoff gap because he obviously crashed last episode, had to repair the car, and that put him in a hole, and now he's certainly gained some points back, but you see he's going into the cutoff race in the next episode 7 points out, so he's got some work to do, and hopefully he can make up those points. But now it is time to set our sights on the Cup Series race. This is the racetrack that I've run really well at both times so far in my career. A track that we should have won that last season, but hopefully we can do that today. And it's certainly going to be a challenge, and that showed because in qualifying on my second session lap, we had a pretty rough lap here. You're seeing the end of it. We had a lot of oversteer on the car throughout the first couple sectors of the course. So it was certainly slowing my lap down, and as we came into the final few corners, I didn't get through here very good either, and we made a few mistakes, and we came across the line and hit a 1:15.473, and we will start the furthest down that we have at the ROVAL in 10th place, so hopefully we can move forward here in the cutoff race.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series returns to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the running of the Bank of America 400. After today, the playoff field goes from 16 to 12. And for the playoff drivers on the cusp, they'll have to fight to stay alive on the most unique track in NASCAR, the Charlotte ROVAL. The ROVAL combines an infield road course segment with the traditional 1.5-mile oval, creating a 2.28-mile, 17-turn test of racing knowledge and skill. Are you ready to see if these drivers can pass this test? NASCAR Playoff Racing is next on PRN.
Alright, we are ready to go green here in the Charlotte ROVAL for the Bank of America 400. Chris Buescher has been struggling all weekend. We do have Chase Elliott on the pole alongside Kyle Larson. Paul Menard posted some fast laps in practice, but he will need some even faster laps in the race today because he is on the outside looking in on this cutoff race here alongside Jimmy Johnson and other drivers as we get ready to go green to start the ROVAL. The green flag is out, and we are underway here in the Bank of America 400 at the Charlotte ROVAL as Chase Elliott leads away going into turns 1. Obviously, we start on the outside line, so being a little bit careful going into turns 1 as we battle alongside the 40 car of Jamie McMurray now as we head down through this first sector alongside the 6 of Ryan Newman as he looks on my left hand side. He has crashed a lot in this career mode this season, so we always try to stay away from him as we get, even with McMurray making a little bit of contact with him as we come down the straightaway heading into the right-hander. So running in the 11th position right now as we come through the next few corners. Then Alex Bowman behind, and he's actually going to punt me from behind, and around he's going to go, and it's going to bring out a very early caution here in the Charlotte ROVAL as Bowman was just, I don't know what he was doing, he just drove right into the back of me and just about took me out. And I learned very early on in this race that the midfield is pretty aggressive at this track. We've never really been in the midfield because we usually run up towards the front, and I'm very confident we can get up there as we get ready to restart this race here as the green flag is back on. That only leaves us 2 laps to go in the first stage as the stages are very short at the ROVAL, except the final stage is a very lengthy stage now as we go into turns 1. Looking at the inside of Jamie McMurray as we come through now into turns 2, behind the 12 of Ryan Blaney as we come through side by side with the 40 continuously with Jamie McMurray as he has the edge on me as we just about make contact now as we go into the right-hander. Ryan Newman trying to stick his nose up my inside as they check up just a little bit in front of me, but we keep out of getting back of anyone, thankfully, now as we come through the right-hander. A lot of right-handers as we get hit again by the 6 of Ryan Newman Newman now, as he's going to go for a big slide on the exit of the corner, and now we're going to stick it up the inside of him, letting him know that we didn't like that, as we're certainly getting roughed up early on in this race. Bowen punted us, Newman just drove into the back of me, but thankfully this one goes much smoother. We get the position back and try to drive away from Ryan Newman now as we come through the oval turns 1 and turns 2, as Blaney is up ahead running behind Jamie McMurray as they battle for 9th and 10th as we come through to hit the bus stop for the first time in this race. A little bit careful through there now as we go to the outside line, and the 19's in the way of Martin Truex Jr. Just about drove straight into the back of him as he had a huge checkup, as we're already approaching the final lap in this first stage as we come through the oval turns 4, heading into the final few corners of this course as it goes side by side up ahead as we come through to the line. They are checking up huge as we come through and get past them again, as we just about got into the back of Blaney, or into the side of him as we come through turns 1. Certainly a crazy start to this race, and as we came to the last half of the final lap, still running in the 7th position as we went into the bus stop now for the final time in the first stage behind Kyle Busch as we come through the oval turns 3 and turns 4. I was pretty content just trying to manage the car in this position. I wasn't going to try and do anything stupid and pass the 18 with an over aggressive move as we come through the chicane to come through to cross the line. We will get 7th in the first stage, so a crazy start to this race, and we still managed to gain 3 positions from where we started to get P7, so a good result to start the first stage, as Chase Elliott did win stage 1, so a playoff point for him going into the next round. Obviously we're locked in on the points on the next round already, so we can go for a win here at all costs now as we get ready to restart stage 2 and P7 after no one pitted, as we're ready to go green, and the second stage is underway here in the Charlotte Roval as we restart from the 7th position. And we're going to go into turns 1 pretty deep, trying to send it up the inside of the 18 of Kyle Busch. Now as we come out of turn 1, a little bit of contact with the 18 car as we come through turns 2. Chase Elliott already driving away now as we head into turn 3. Kyle Busch is going to send it back up my inside now into turn 4 behind our teammate of Kevin Harvick as we give him a little bit of a shot to the bumper, another shot to him as they checked up quite a bit, and I wasn't really expecting it as we battle alongside now Jamie McMurray, who was able to get up my inside as we go through turns 5. He's going to crowd me over to the left hand side of the track a bit now as we battle behind the 42 of Kyle Larson as we head into turn 7. They're going to go too wide there between Larson and Harvick, and we're going to try and send it up even more of the inside and make it 3 wide for a brief moment with Larson and Harvick now, as we're going to be able to pull ahead of Harvick and get ahead of Larson and move ourselves now into a top 5 position. So it took us just over 1 stage to get back into the top 5 after starting in the 10th position, but now we're here and hopefully we can keep going forwards as we come through the bus stop, trying to close in on the back of the 18 of Kyle Busch, who runs in that 4th position, as Chase Elliott would continue at this point to drive away from the field. And a much more tame start to this stage than the first stage was. Obviously that whole first stage was pretty crazy. The first opening lap and the last lap, or even coming to the last lap, was pretty crazy now, as we would just kind of settle in here for a moment in the 5th position in this second stage, and by the time it came to lap 3 of 5 in the stage, still running in the 5th position, I was having a pretty tough time closing in on these guys up ahead. Chase Elliott actually wasn't really pulling away anymore. He had actually had Quinn Boyer, our teammate, who's in a must-win situation, all over his back bumper as Boyer tries to win his way into the round of 12 now, as Eric Almirola, our teammate, he is well in the playoffs right now, it looks like, so he should be okay as we come through now. This is on the last lap in the second stage as they continued up ahead to battle it out up there, as we just kind of lurked behind. We just couldn't quite run these guys down at this point in the race, and I felt like the damage done to our back bumper might have been a role in that problem. I felt like if we could get the pit road at the end of the stage, we can repair the damage done to our bumper after getting hit by Ryan Newman and Alex Bowman, and hopefully be a little bit more competitive as we exit the oval turn 2, heading down the back straightaway into the bus stop. For the final time, Chase Elliott tries to win stage 2 as we come through the bus stop, closing in a bit on the back of the 18 of Kyle Busch. Obviously we can get through the bus stop much quicker than the AI, and we take advantage of it as we come through the oval turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time here in stage 2. Elliott trying to hold on as we go into the final chicane. Elliott's going to come through to win the second stage as we try to look to the outside of Kyle Busch for a moment, but it's not going to be enough as we get P5 in the second stage. So Elliott gets another playoff point. We would come to pit road at the end of this stage, and I figured that no tires would be the right call, as the tires were looking really good. So I said, okay, we're going to take no tires, take some fuel, and repair the back bumper, because we certainly need to fix that up. We would lose 1 position and fall back to P6 with Kyle Larson moving up a spot. So we would get ready to start on this outside line for the final stage here in the Roval. 4 drivers are about to be eliminated here in Charlotte as a green flag is back on. We are underway to start this final stage, and we have a big hole to allow myself to look up the inside of Larson and Kyle Busch and make it 3 wide as we go into turns 1. A little bit of contact there with the 42 as we both kind of force the 18 to back out of it now as we just about cleared the 42. Now we do as we go into the next set of corners, looking to the inside now of the 20 of Eric Jones, and we're going to move into the 3rd position after restarting 6 here on this opening restart in this final stage. So a brilliant start to the final stage, and now we can set our sights on the next 2 drivers of Clint Boyer, our teammate, who has to win his way in, and Chase Elliott now as we get sideways as we exit the corner, and now Eric Jones is going to send it on my inside and hit me in the left hand side as we come through, heading onto the oval portion of the track. We're going to try and cross over the 20, and we do just that now as we make contact again as we come through the oval turns 1, and we're going to pull ahead of the 20 of Jones and get back ahead of him. Chase Elliott and Clint Boyer quite a ways up ahead of me right now, over a second ahead I believe, as we head down towards the bus stop just in front of the 20 of Jones. But obviously we can get through here much better, and we do gain a little bit of time right there through the bus stop now as we come through the oval turns 3 and turns 4. Chase Elliott has dominated this race currently as he comes into the final chicane to hit just about 12 laps to go now as we come through to cross the line. So certainly quite a lengthy final stage, like I said, as we have 12 to go here as we head down into turns 1. And we would continue to really just maintain our position in 3rd. We would lose a little bit of time to the cars ahead in the coming laps, and by the time we came to just in lap 19, just an extra lap later, going down the straightaway, heading into the bus stop, Clint Boyer all over the back of Elliott. Now he's going through the bus stop. He's going to go up on 2 wheels as we come through on the exit. We have to go to the apron to avoid him and get past him now as we come through to take the 2nd position away from our Stewart Haas Racing teammate of Clint Boyer as he almost flipped over through the bus stop now as we come into the chicane approaching lap 20. We hit the barrier with our left front, and that's going to bring out a caution now, and that was just a big mistake on my part. We kept the car straight, but for some reason they brought out the caution. We thankfully have still a car in good condition, and this would really spice things up now as we get ready to restart here in the ROVAL. Thankfully, the car is still in good shape, and we can contend for a win for sure as we get ready to go green here in the ROVAL. Once again, we are underway with just 7 to go as we head into turns 1. This crazy race has gotten even crazier recently as we head into turns 1. Clint Boyer on my inside. We know our teammate's in a must-win situation, but we're not here to let him go and win. So we're going to battle it out and try to win this race ourselves now as we come through into turns 2 now, heading into turn 3. Clear, obviously, of Clint Boyer as we exit the corner, setting our sights on the number 9 of Chase Elliott as we go down the straightaway. And we would continue in that 2nd position as we came to the later half of lap 23 down the straightaway, heading into the bus stop, closing in on the 9. Now as the 14 is going to get into my back bumper as we go through the bus stop, and that would unsettle both of our cars. We would be able to hang on just fine, but Boyer would certainly lose a little bit of ground to myself and Elliott as we came through the oval turns 4, heading down into the chicane, closing in on the last handful of laps as Boyer would close up again, but we would be able to stretch it out as we went down to turns 1 on the back of Elliott as Boyer's going to close in and he's going to send it up my inside. Very ambitious from the 14 as we would be able to hang on still to that 2nd position, but lose a little bit of time to Elliott after Boyer being very aggressive. But thankfully we would hang on to the spot, and Jones would get to his inside, and they would battle it out now as well as we would try to hold on to that 2nd position and run down the 9 of Elliott. And as both cars of Jones and Boyer battled it out, that allowed Kyle Busch to actually get past them both. And as we came to just 2 laps later on lap 27, Kyle Busch had actually run us down as we headed down towards the chicane, approaching just 2 laps to go in this race. Busch is going to send it up my inside, and he hits me in the left rear, and that unsettles the car, and we go into the barrier, and sideways and around we go, and that would completely destroy our race potentially, as we would have to get the car spun back around and get going as McMurray would come through, and we would get the car spun around, but the caution would come out, and we would be really lucky that we got this caution, because we would be in 6th position with a chance to still win as Kyle Busch sent it into the inside of me and hit me in the left rear and completely unsettled the car. But we still have a chance to maybe win here on the ROVAL as the green flag is out, and we are underway with 2 laps to go again as we send it up the inside straightaway of Clint Boyer and Ryan Blaney as we head into turns 1. Immediately a chance to get back up here towards the top 3 as we make a lot of contact with our teammate of Boyer, but we get clear of him now as I was on a mission to get back up to the front because I felt like we had a potential win robbed from us now as we send it up the inside of Kyle Busch, giving him the bumper, letting him know that we're not very happy with him as we're going to shove him a little bit wide and clear him now as we go into the right-hander. Elliott pulling away, but we know we got the bus stop coming up, and we can gain a lot of time through there as Bush is all over our back bumper for a moment, but we pull away just a little bit as we go into the left hand of the 18, hits us in the left-hand side as he sends it up very aggressively, and we're going to cross him over and send it up his inside, and we're going to shove him wide up towards the wall, and we take over the second position once again now as Boyer moves into the third position behind myself as we come through the oval turns 2. Chase Elliott way up ahead, but we still have a chance to close in on him through the bus stop as Boyer tries to send it up my inside, but he thinks better of it as we come through the bus stop now, approaching the final lap. A brilliant bus stop, and that allows me to close in right on the back of Chase Elliott as we come through the oval turns 3 and turns 4. We still have a chance to win this race somehow as we head into the final chicane, approaching the final lap here in the Bank of America 400 now as we cross the line. The white flag's in the air, a big run as we look to the inside of the 9 as we try to make a last lap pass for the victory as we go into turns 1 side by side with the 9 of Chase Elliott as we come through turns 2. Clint Boyer joining in on this party now as he closes up quickly as we continue to battle side by side into turns 2 now. As we head into turn 3, we clear the 9 of Chase Elliott and take over the lead late here in the ROVAL now as we are in command as we try to hold on to a victory with a crazy race coming down to a crazy finish now as we head into the about second sector or so of this course. Elliott and Boyer trying to battle it out for second. Elliott is going to allow Boyer to look up his inside. Elliott has dominated this whole race, and now he drops to third on the final lap as we start the oval portion of this track. Boyer is there as we head down into the oval turns 1. We've got to get down to protect him, but he's there already, and he looks up my inside as we do get clear just about now as we finally clear him as we exit the oval portion of turns 2. As we head down the back straightaway into the bus stop, we get clear of Boyer going into the bus stop. And we get through the bus stop, not very good, and that allows the 14 to close in once again. He is in a must-win situation as we head through the oval turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in the Bank of America 400. Heading down into the chicane, Boyer all over our back bumper. He's going to get there, but it's not going to be enough as we make it through without being wrecked, and we will win in the Charlotte ROVAL.
Nice job, checker flag yours.
And we get win number 4 on the season here in Charlotte. The most insane race I have ever been a part of. That was just crazy. I mean, from start to finish, we had action the whole time. Probably the first time we've had action throughout the whole race here in the Charlotte ROVAL and just in NASCAR Heat 3 in general. We really, I don't know how we managed to get up to the front again and win this race, but we got extremely lucky there, especially with that last incident where Kyle Busch pretty much just hit me in the left rear and caused me to crash, but thankfully we got a caution when that happened and we come through to get the victory here in the Charlotte ROVAL. I didn't think we were going to get it, but unbelievable race it was, and we were able to win here in the ROVAL. So a great race, and Eric Almirola there rounding out the top 10. Jimmy Johnson down in 20th. We know Johnson is definitely going to be eliminated now as we get ready to check the playoff grid. Ryan Newman shocking DNF'd as he has like half of this season so far. And we do get a decent payout, and there it is, your playoff grid. And Clint Boyer, Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, Paul Menard are your 4 drivers out. We still have 3 Stewart-Haas racing cars in the playoffs. Only 100 car remains of Chase Elliott there as Johnson's out, and surprisingly Denny Hamlin did not make it, which is certainly a surprise. I thought he was gonna be okay, but certainly he was not, obviously, at the end of this race as we get to see that trophy for the first time, win number 4 on the season. So we continue to impress with the Stewart-Haas racing team now, as that would also be career win number 8 for us here at the Charlotte ROVAL. So we're getting close to winning 10 Cup Series races. Hopefully we can do that maybe by the end of the season. That's going to be pretty tough, likely next season, but obviously we have advanced to the round of 12, so we're very happy with that, and we add some extra playoff points with the victory here in the ROVAL. Really, I just could not believe that we managed to win this race, but thankfully we did it. Now we have momentum, which I hate momentum in this game. I hope that's gone in the next game, but we have it anyways. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as we have some video messages here from other drivers that we'll get to check out.
Hey, nice job advancing to the next round of the playoffs. It doesn't get any easier, so stay focused.
You sure know all about not being easy
Amazing
in the
win.
playoffs.
You brought your A game today.
Thank you, Austin Dillon.
You made it into the round of 12. Keep working. You haven't won anything yet.
Thank you, Stuart Friesen, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We don't need to hear anything from you. Chase Elliott, he's happy with us, so obviously we're going to compliment Chase Elliott. We're going to compliment, obviously, anyone that's being friendly with us except Ryan Newman. He's not very happy, so we're going to provoke him. Kyle Busch, we're not even going to take his crap after what he gave to us in the Roval, so we're going to provoke him. And Alex Bowman, though, we will apologize to Alex Bowman. So we are certainly sitting pretty decent with a reputation other than Martin Truex Jr. Obviously, he was a rival. Thankfully, we didn't really have to deal with him in that race, but we might have to do so in the next episode at Dover, one of a track that we certainly run good at, so hopefully we can continue that now as we see the playoff grid going into the round of 12. There it is, your 4 drivers out, Larson, Jones, Blaney, and Almirola. We'll see if any of them can work their way into the round of 8 as we're 30 above the cut line, so we're sitting pretty good. So I will see you guys in the next episode where we go race at Dover. Hopefully we have a good run there and continue to increase our gap above the cut line. So thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next one for Dover. Have a good day, everybody. See you in the next one.